Well, 05 comes quick. Here we are. For guests and visitors, my name is Steve Parley, club president. I'd like to welcome you all to what I believe is the 45th meeting of the 47th year of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. Today's invocation and pledge of allegiance will be offered by George Norris.
Dear Lord, thank you for your presence in our life. All the wonderful things that are happening in Columbus this weekend, the tournament, the brother we're going to have. Thanks to that too, Lord. Be with each one of us as we relate to each other. We ask for your name. Amen.
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, George. I don't see Teresa in here, but I believe we have some guests. No, Bro can introduce us a little bit. All right. So now we're cruising right along. We're ready for our sergeant.
Oh, I gotta get a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no, I won't get a bucket. I'll make somebody else get a bucket.
There you go. Delegate.
There I go again, having to lower the speaker. The mic, I should say. Let me see, hold on a second. I think I see Dave Hansen. Yes, Dave Hansen. You're right beside the bucket. Put your hot coffee down, it'll be cold by the time you finish.
Where's the bucket?
Well, it's back, Harry's got it hidden someplace. Or just figure out one, whatever.
Any bucket will do.
Any bucket will do, this I get it at which time, that's the better time. That was used by most presidents over the years, for various reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, and David, Dr. Hanson, will you please, see the bucket, please, because you're here and you're doing the job?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome today, and I think that we should have an opportunity for happy dollars for everybody and everybody. And I can't say. You're more than welcome. You always have happy dollars, so go ahead.
Well, I'm proud to announce our granddaughter Elizabeth graduated from the University of Maryland. She had a double major in biological sciences and public health sciences with honors.
Woo, nice.
Wow. Great. Double major. Yes, I'm sorry. That's great.
I would like, what's that? Oh, I would like to put in a happy dollar. My brother just got promoted to a full bird colonel in the U.S. Army.
In the U.S. Army, good. Where is he stationed?
Fort Carson, Colorado.
Doing,
He's an armor officer.
okay. Great. Please.
Well, I would just like to say that my son graduated high school this weekend and I'm very happy about it.
Congratulations. Those are all nice things to say about somebody else in your family. So, Pete.
Glad to be back.
We're glad to have you back. We're obviously very glad to have you back.
I know.
We're also glad to have you back.
I appreciate that and understand.
So anybody else are happy dollars? See none. Oh, yes, Dr. Hanson.
I want to reiterate that my daughter and my grandson both graduated from Xavier. So they're onwards and upwards to new things, and I'm very happy about that. Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's great. And what kind of majors or minors or anticipation to come up next?
Well, my grandson majored in biophysics, and my daughter in elementary education. She wants to do kindergarten.
Great. Great. His name was Lewis Bowers, Bowers, and he's right across the table from us. Thanks, David. Okay, we're gonna take advantage of Paul's SID card today again, one more time. To encourage him to do the great job he's already done with membership spotlights over the last, Paul, when did that start?
18 months.
18 months ago, just right at pre-pandemic or mid-pandemic or whatever it was. And it's provided a good amount of information that the Sergeants Committee is able to use and will use today in order to extract dollars from your pocket, because most of you have not read, that should read the membership spotlights and should keep a going history of it. So today we're going to talk about two different individuals, and the hints are going to be easy, so everybody can be able to figure this out. But I'm going to ask all the tables, and before it's all over, you're going to be putting money in. First of all, this particular member joined in 1987. And we'll start with, well, I'm just going to find everybody at every table. So it doesn't make any difference. You just raise your hand, please. So nobody knows the answer to that. Number two, a neat question that Paul came up with. As you look back, which of these opportunities you have been given are most fulfilling to you personally? Which opportunity you've been given in life are most beneficial to you personally? And the answer was very interesting. The Dominican Republic project, right here in the club, that helped to fund and build, as many of you participated in this, medical facilities in that country. So that expands that base to how many people were on that, Dave? Dr. Hanson, how many people were on the first?
Well, the exploratory trip in 2000, when we went to Cap Nation as well as to Santiago, there were 4 of us. Dave Kittredge and Abel Kalinge and Pierre Dani.
Okay.
And Pierre was a real valuable contributor because he spoke French.
Okay, it's not any of those people. So that should make life go better. So that's that. So nobody answers. So you're getting low on the totem pole. And this will be one of the real giveaways. When you have a moment to sit back and think, dream about your future, what do you think about? What things would you like to do in your life that haven't gotten around, that you haven't been able to get around to yet? Is there something else you would like to accomplish? This is a piece of cake for everybody. I would like to fly in a real jet, specifically the F-21 Hornet. It flies between 1,700 and 1,800 miles per hour. Nobody knows the answer? Oh, well, then, Dr. Hanson, you'll be able to extract from everybody. We have a $2 limit here, folks.
Jim Farmer,
I know.
go for it.
Oh, no, just your table then.
Pork chop.
Wrong. I put $1 in each. The answer to this is none other than somebody is doing something for this coming Friday. What is that? Somebody has no hair in his hand left. And who is that? Mike, stand up. What is this idea about flying? Is that why your hair is gone, because you flown in jets with the canopy off?
It won't blow in the breeze. Just always been, always been a dream of mine to get in a jet.
Yeah. How many,
Okay, that's a very interesting little diatribe on that, and there's a bunch of other things about Mike, but I thought those things were very interesting. Okay, next, we're going to talk about one more thing, maybe your $2 will be available at any second time. This is equally as easy. One of us, we're in this room, we're not on Zoom, so it's nobody on Zoom, in this room, has 62 first cousins. Think about that. 62 first cousins. Okay, we'll go on to the easy one then. Became a member of the Dublin Worthington Rotary in 1988, just a year after Mike. Mike, you should know the answer to that. But you were around a year already. There you go. Describe the most challenging project you ever worked on. Most challenging project. This will really open doors. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna give you a chance to hear the tip on that, because there's something else that is more important. What things would you like to do in life that you haven't gotten around to yet? Is there something else you would really like to accomplish? The answer is, I want to, but may not have the patience to play the piano. Okay. Yeah, get your dollar ready. If you could choose anyone to have lunch with, who would it be and why? FDR, 31st President of the United States. Because of the meetings that he had with Churchill, with Stalin, in our effort to defeat the Germans. And the meeting took place in Russia. Okay, then we go back to the easy one.
Was it Pastor Tom Rice?
No. Okay, most difficult thing, this goes back, and this is on easy one. Most difficult task you had to do. Build an office in Washington, D.C., acquire office space. The biggest thing is purchase office furniture, hire staff. Along with my partner, we were able to stand alone, build a standalone office for over 100 professionals. Is there anybody here that'd like to raise their hand and give an answer?
Someone said Dave Hanson.
George is guessing.
George doesn't know anything.
Jim Miller?
No, with the person I just described, oh, by the way, also a very, very, very close, spent some time in a very, very, very close environment to where I think the first glimpse of the sun shone on this ball of light called Earth. That's close to Bangor, Ohio, in Delphus, Ohio. Everybody knows.
I heard it.
Tom Rice.
Stand up, Tom. Okay. Thank you very much. Paul, thank you very much. Everybody extra now $2 because nobody knew the answer, except a giveaway for the Delphus, Ohio Grand Vocation. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Much appreciated. All right. Announcements. If you have announcements, make your way up this way. We'll let one go first.
Thanks, Steve. Good afternoon, everybody. Seeing all your smiling faces. This Friday is going to be the 32nd annual Donald G. Moult Memorial Golf Outing. We're going to be playing at Glen Ross Golf Club starting at noon. Just to give some of you newer members a little background, my father was a founding member, charter member of the club. He was also past president. Passed away when he was 59 years old. So that's it. Good news and bad news. We are still going to play Friday. Bad news, Glen Ross's clubhouse blew up. They had a propane explosion, and the building seems to be lost completely. Right now, we're trying to work on getting temporary tents set up. We're going to have a beverage cart out and snacks and everything else. So if we get done with golf and can't sit down outside, we'll have a word presentation here. And our honoree this year, for which we name somebody each year, is going to be Ann Page. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. When you say that country club blew up, like,
The clubhouse.
yeah,
Clubhouse, had a propane explode, had a propane explosion that. Where's the top of?
this is weird. Were there any injuries?
No, not that, no, but it had been, what I understand, it had been accumulating for a while, and the ignition point had set it off, but no injuries whatsoever. I see the guy got out okay, so that's good news.
Okay. All right, couple of other announcements. The installation banquet / rah-rah, still gonna be on June 29th. It will be here. Looks like the cost is going to be very affordable this year. And I think we're gonna have more specific details to share in the very near future.
What time?
6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Jim Miller, is there anything I'm missing?
Will be open bar and meal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's gonna be food, dancing if you want, meal, drinks. Okay. And then also thank you to those who sent Jim Miller nominations for Rookie and Rotarian of the Year. That committee is going to be meeting directly after this one to deliberate. That's what I wrote down, deliberate. Okay. And so now it's time for our program, and we've got a two-parter. We're gonna put the most important part first, which is hearing from Roe and the Interact kids. Come on up. Interact young adults. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. As you all know, we started sponsoring an Interact Club at Worthington High School back in 2001. And I have been involved with it from day one, and it is a pleasure, excuse me, it's always a pleasure to meet these young adults. I'm always inspired by them. Every year they do amazing projects and they come up with great ideas. And you don't want to hear from me, so I'm going to let you hear from them. The two young ladies standing with me today are seniors this fall and officers of the club. And I'll have them tell you a little bit about themselves and the projects that they worked on this past year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kaya Engel. We're both seniors at Worthington High School. My name is Rachel McKay, and we're both the co-presidents of our Interact Club. And so as presidents, we work to organize events for Kilbourne, not just for the members of Interact Club, but also for everyone around the school. We work with various different organizations throughout our community to work to help different groups of Columbus and Worthington and Dublin. Yeah, so we're the co-presidents, and then we also have two other officers that are here today. We have a secretary and a PR manager. So the secretary is really just in charge of taking notes during meetings and making sure like on track. And then also they like give announcements to our like school news. So the whole school is like aware of all of our events and stuff, and, like hanging out posters and flyers for our events and stuff like that. And then the PR like social media manager is in charge of our Instagram and Twitter accounts, which just like posts about like events we're doing or like not like kind of like results of like the events like stuff we make and everything like that, and just staying on top of like our social media and everything like that. Yeah. And this year we worked with many different organizations. One of the first ones being Arts for Little Hearts, which is an international organization that I believe is based out of New Jersey. And they collect different art pieces from people all around the United States, and they send them to kids who are in hospitals in different countries. And that's just like a little way to brighten up their day to get art pieces and hear about someone's life from a different country. Yeah, and for Arts for Little Hearts, we also had a couple events where people could come and like craft with us. We could like make art to send, and then we also had a drive for people to donate any like art projects around our house they had. And then we also worked with an organization called Stitch Together, which is really local. It's like a family friend of mine that creates care packages for kids going into the foster care system. So we had a drive for that where we collected hygiene products that we donated to her. And then we also like went to her house and helped her create these little care packages, which are called home cases. And we also worked with the organization I Support the Girls with Kathy Jackson, who works out of Columbus to help get bra donations and like underwear donations and hygiene, feminine product donations for women who are in need of them in the Columbus area. So we did have a bra drive and we had a feminine product drive, and then we worked to like sort them so that she could easily distribute them best size and stuff. And then our biggest event almost every year is our Cards and Cookies, which is right before winter break, and we always get a lot of people at that one. It's super fun, and we decorate cookies, and then Kaya and I go to local fire stations and deliver them to our firefighters just to thank them, like give them something for the holiday season. And then for cards, we create cards, like holiday cards, and then we send those into the Ronald McDonald House for the kids there. And that one's always really fun. We always get a lot of people at that one, even a lot of people who are in the club. Another thing about the Interact Club at Kilbourne is that you don't necessarily have to be a member to participate in a lot of our events. So we get a lot of people who are just like free one day who can like come to an event, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have to be like committed the entire year. Because a lot of times when Kai and I are like recruiting people into the club, a lot of people are like, oh, like I don't have that much time, but you don't necessarily need a lot of time to participate and interact. You can just come to what you can come to, and then if you can't come to something, then that's like totally fine too. Yeah, and throughout the year, we like preach learning from your community service experiences and like learning from the different organizations we work with. So we like to think that our members can take away and see how much of a difference they can make in a community, and how just like maybe an hour of community service or just a small part of your day can make like a big impact on someone else's life, especially when we make take the whole community of our school and bring them all together to do small community service acts and see like what a big difference we can make and what we can do. And then it also has taught us how we can impact a lot more than just Worthington and just like Columbus area in general, especially with the Arts for Little Hearts. We got to see they reached out to us and we talked about the crafts that they received and where they sent them. I believe Italy was one of the places that they sent them to. And so, yeah, we just like to see how all the small things we can do can make a big difference in our community and worldwide. And something else we've done in the past, we didn't really have to do it much in the past couple of years, we've been funded pretty well, but we've also done fundraisers in the past where we've like baked a lot of goods and then like sold them and stuff, and that would just be like for the club, but right now, like we haven't really had things.
That's it.
Thank you, both of you, for being here and for all that you're doing, both in your school and in our community. We really appreciate all that you do. For those of you who don't know, the students alluded to it a little bit. Their club is self-governed and self-run. They raise their own money and they run their own meetings. They plan their own events. There's a faculty advisor and, as you know, a Rotarian advisor who work with the students, and we hope to guide them and mentor them. But all of the work and all of the great things that they're doing are due to their efforts. So thank you both.
I'm very proud of our club that can be tied to you guys and be a part of it. So thank you, and thank you, Ro, as always, forever and ever. You are doing a great job. Okay, now for the less important part two, the committee fair. I keep saying program committee in my head. It is a committee fair. So, as you guys probably remember, back in, April, I gave a little bit of an address to the club saying, we're gonna rejuvenate our club from the top down, starting with me, then the board, or the executive committee, then the board, then board liaisons, and now we're getting down to the level of our 8 main committees. And so the purpose of today is to get representatives from our 8 main committees up and just share a little bit about the committees. And there are sign-up sheets on everybody's table. So when you hear of a great committee that you want to be a part of, please write your name down and the committee. And then we'll start getting committee meetings together and start driving forward into the new year. Just to give you a little preview of what I think will come next. So we've got a lot of subcommittees, and a lot of the work happens in subcommittees, but they are no less important than our main 8 committees. So once we get through this phase, I think we'll hold another meeting sometime in the next month or two to give other subcommittees a chance to speak up. So it's kind of informal today, but does anybody want to go first? I think I spoke to most of the. It's International Service.
Sure.
Come on up. I guess it would help if I recap what our 8 main committees are. So we have membership, International Service. We have a George Bush moment here. Help me out. Community service, ways and means, club service, vocational, did I say membership, and youth services? Public energy. Programs is a subcommittee. I hate to say it. All right, international service.
Did you queue us up there?
Sure can.
Thank you. There are many in the audience here who are already members of our International Service Committee. But those that aren't, we invite you to peruse a little bit of the stuff we're doing in a couple minutes, more or less. I want to welcome our newest member, DNA Simone. And I would be remiss, my name is Tim Shear, for anybody that doesn't know me. I'd be remiss if I didn't say Courtney, who I think is with us virtually. Courtney, thank you for bringing me to this club, whatever, 16, 18 years ago, something like that. I came from the Columbus Club because I live in Worthington, but because we were the premier international service entity of the 59 clubs in our district. So Mike, where are you, Mike Bolton? Mike, thank you for your wonderful comments about our work with our principal or first twin club in the Dominican Republic. Let me invite Dave Hansen and Dave Tittridge up to say a little bit, and you'll see slides that accompany that.
Real quickly, I guess, if you do international work, you realize people around the world really want the same things. Governments may go at it time to time, but the people really want their kids to grow up better world than they did. They want economic security. They want, roof over their head, all that good things. And I think Rotary is uniquely poised to help people around the world achieve those things. And we've been doing that since 1999 in the Dominican Republic. And we have 2 main projects, both in the Barrio Lindo area of Santiago. And as the name indicates, it's a community that conglomeration of reasonably low economically situated folks in poverty and with few opportunities. So over the years, we used our business skills, and I was a social service administrator, health administrator for 20-some odd years, so I use those skills just to help the community talk about what their needs are, what they like to do, and how they'd like to improve things. And so we've got 2 main projects. One is a healthcare clinic that we built, and the other is a scholarship program. We learned that in the community that many times people can get a job, but they're sick all the time. And we found out that most of what they were sick with were illnesses that we regard as totally treatable. So we helped them build a clinic that has become a model built for the city, and we're helping to replicate that in other areas of the city. The other scholarship program is with their kids in the barrio that 20% unemployment rate, in the Dominican Republic for kids. But yet the Business Development Association said that they couldn't get people to fill certain job titles. So we provide a parents portion of schooling, the vocational school. And so this enables kids who otherwise would be unable to attend to achieve a skill and a job, essentially, with one of these business development members when they get out. So long story short, we're helping people in the area achieve economic security. So, and we go down, and again, apply our skills as business folks, social service folks, help them do that. So
Dave,
that's it.
Moise is in that
Oh.
slide there.
That's one of our scholarship recipients, Moises, and with his mother. And he's really our poster child success story. He lives in a hovel, really. But his father committed suicide, and his mother sweeps parking lots for dollars a month. And so no way to afford the tuition to the school, so our paying her portion to go to the school enabled him to become employed. And he is now fixing up the place that he and his mother lived. And it was night and day from when I visited it the first time to what it is now. And he has goals and plans for moving to a new facility. So he's a success story. Slides. That's ARAIN, which is the Industrial Development, Business Development Association. And they a membership group. They have a scholarship program, and we use their infrastructure with the scholarship program. They know how to do a scholarship program. So we just get the applicants from them and again pay the parents' portion. And then they provide the jobs to the kids coming out of the school and let the school know where the needs are. And so we target the kids for those programs and they come out of the job.
Okay.
That's it.
How much money is in our scholarship fund now, and how many scholarships have we issued?
We have 40,000, a corpus of 40,000 in large part. Not everybody in this group, I think, has participated in one way or another, even if you threw a bowling ball down the alley at the bowling tournament. So we have 40,000, and we're giving 2 scholarships a year from the dividends and interest from that $40,000. And our foundation is the home for that. And they invest it as our board directs them to do. And then today we've given 4 scholarships out of that fund. And then we had initially this whole thing started with an RI global grant where we gave 12 scholarships for 4 years. And that was a booming success. And anybody who's gone down and talked to the kids, we just come away with warm and fuzzies. Because these are kids that would never have been able to get out of the barrier. And now they're like Moises, they've got jobs, they've got goals, they're going to college, all the things that our kids want to do, and they never could have even dreamed of it. So we had those 12, and I think we've done 6 in addition to that. And now we've got the 4 that we've given from the ongoing fund. And we plan to give at least 2 a year, 5 infinitum, and hopefully more, to raise more money.
Thank you, Dave. So, and thank you also, Tom, Alan, Jim, and others, Tom Rice. Our Dublin Worthington Rotary Foundation has made this possible. In some ways, we've created wonderful precedent for the rest of the district here with what we've done between our foundation and things in the Dominican Republic. I'm going to try to move really quickly on on Mongolia. I would be remiss also, where the heck is Jerry today? You know? Jerry said to me 6 years ago when Connie was coming in, and I was behind her, that means as president, ladies, in our club, we serve 1-year terms. Jerry's our august treasurer, super banker, and Jerry said to me, you guys, you know, Tim, you're only probably gonna be president of a Rotary club one time, 1 year. Why don't you do something audacious, man? So I went to Seoul with Connie and Bill, and I found the Mongolians, as you guys may recall. I hadn't seen them since 1998. I am delighted to tell you that after 3 years, our NGSE committee, led by me, meeting NGSE from 6 clubs across the district, we are wheels up on June 30th, and we're going to Mongolia.
Nice.
The Mongolians are coming here, God willing, in springtime in this covidious world. But you know, going back 5 years ago, you'll recognize many people there, including our dear Bill Shantz. That was at Le Chatelaine when the Mongolians were here. We went out and across 5 districts in Ohio, 5 Rotary districts. Thanks to now past District Governor Craig Maxley, we raised almost 30,000 books for early childhood readers in Mongolia. These are for kids that in many instances have never had their own book before. Many of you have heard me talk about how poignant that is. Of 30,000 books, we sorted everything and 20,000 were acceptable, meaning the average Mongolian doesn't know what the Easter Bunny is, and the 2 copies of Atlas Shrugged were not going to Mongolia. But thereafter, I went back to Mongolia a couple times in this instance, Chuck Gibson on one. When Chuck was with the Worthington libraries, we did seminars all over Mongolia, distributed 20,000 books and more to 100 schools and libraries. We worked closely with the Mongolian Education Alliance, maybe highlights for children here. You can see sharing the books with the kids there. And of course, when I get back, there are 4 educators from our district going. We will be back to give you our dog and pony show, and we really have great hopes. Steve?
So Tim, in the interest of time, because we have many other committees we got to get
Yes,
on,
sir.
what does it mean to be a member of the International Service Committee? When does it meet? What are the travel opportunities? Why
Thank
would
you.
I want to be a member of?
Thank you so much.
Can you back away from the mic just a little?
Sure, you guys probably don't need me on a microphone anyways. The International Service Committee meets at Fort Chapman's house, typically on the 4th Thursday of each month at 7:30 in the morning. We send out a call to meeting, we Zoom it these days simultaneously. We would love to have you drop by. We do things that are quite diverse, not only opportunities to go to the Dominican Republic or Mongolia, but you're going to hear from DNA and Dave about Veracruz, where they both have deep ties. And we will continue to do more work with the books, et cetera, as you see regarding the Mongolia project. Also, we're very involved in NGSE at the district level. Wynn Wixel is our subcommittee chair there, so I think Wynn's always delighted to talk about NGSE. When the Mongolians come here, I think there will be six in the spring. And they're gonna each stay with us in Dublin, Worthington for a couple days. So Wynn will be on point, placing those folks in the homes of our members. We'd love to have you involved in the committee. Ladies, gentlemen of the committee, am I forgetting anything?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Dave and DNA, let them very quickly talk a little bit about.
Just 1 minute, and I'll do it from here. DNA, I guess we'll reserve
Reach
you
out.
for later.
Yeah.
You know, my wife built a home in Veracruz, and we've been going down there annually in the winter when it's not so hot. Now, the interesting thing there is that in the late 50s, the city of Veracruz gave the Rotary Club of Veracruz a city block and said, do good things for the community. And out of that has emerged the Paul Harris Center. And this Paul Harris Center is doing tremendous things, many things paralleling what we're doing here in our community through Rotary. And I'd simply like to invite some of you, any of you that may be interested, to think seriously about joining me, perhaps sometime in December, and going down for a week, maybe 6 days or a week, to get to know the Paul Harris Center better, and also the club down there that's the major sponsor of the Paul Harris Center. And I'd simply like to say that we have a residence there with 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. And I would hope that you would all be inclined to stay with us. And we also have a vehicle that can take us around. So it should be a fun time. And please, if you're at all serious about this, I'd really appreciate you speaking to me later about it. Dionne here is actually from the city, the state of Veracruz.
Yeah, the state of Veracruz. My parents currently live in the city of Veracruz. So, yeah, it's a beautiful place to visit. Yeah, during the cold months because it's tropical climate. So, hope you can join us there. I'm sure there's a lot of work to do.
Awesome archaeology, right?
A lot of archaeology.
First place Cortez landed in the New World.
It's about 10 minutes away from the port. So, first city founded in the whole continent. That's Veracruz.
All right, thank you very much, International Service. Who's coming up next? Don't jump out of your seats so fast. Right, maybe you guys get fisticuffs. Come on up.
Yeah, all right.
We're moving quick.
All right. I will be brief here, and I'm also going next because some, hopefully we have other committees that we have to go brief also. So Worth Community Service Committee, I'm Don Motley. I've had the honor of chairing this committee, actually going back when Al Grossman was president. And look at what International does and think they're addressing those same needs local. Okay. The difference being, first, it is local, and secondly, that we are blessed to live in a country where we have private and public services that already fill some of those needs. So we don't have to do the more basic things like building a health clinic, but what we do, we can help in other ways. So we're local. So what do we do? Well, when we're looking at projects, I'll go over some of our projects in a minute. We look at projects that have sort of the following characteristics. First, it encompasses at least one of the following areas of service: human service, education, environment, or health. We focus a lot on the needs of youth and their families, but it also includes some of those young people living in nursing homes. Secondly, we try to provide opportunities throughout the year for all club members to be involved, all meaning all. Some of our projects actually take place at club meetings or right after a club meeting. So, for example, in April of this year, we have a project where we're assembling seedlings to be distributed to kids for Arbor Day. We did part of that work after a club meeting, and everybody was here to participate in at least that aspect of the project. And then obviously a smaller group was involved in getting them delivered to the schools where the kids will plant on Arbor Day. So we do try to provide opportunities throughout the year to do things at club meetings, as well as obviously opportunity to do things outside of club meetings. You can't do everything at a club meeting. We wanted to have a positive impact on the community, and impact is really important. When we're looking at new projects, one of the things we're looking at is what is the impact? How many people does it benefit? How great is the impact? The next thing is we want to look either using club volunteers or a combination of club volunteers and money. Notice I didn't say just money. That doesn't mean that the Rotary Club never gives money to a cause. Of course we do. But if all we're doing is raising money and writing a check, it's not really a Rotary project. And we don't really, as Rotarians, benefit from our involvement in it, from the exposure to it, perhaps don't make as much of a difference as we can. So we want to have projects where the Rotarian is more than just someone handing over the check or writing a check. So for example, we don't just send a check to the food pantries, the Worthington and Dublin food pantries. We organize a project where we go out and solicit donations of food and money to the community and donate those. So the Rotarians are visible and involved in performing that work. Another criteria is we have to have a lead person or advocate. We sometimes call them a champion. In other words, so even though we have kind of the main committee, just like international, there's the main committee, the subcommittees or working groups on individual projects. Many services like that too. We have a main committee, which usually the regular attendance of that is pretty small. We have an awful lot of project subcommittees or project working groups. So we have a project committee that handles the twice a year food pantry solicitation, which is usually in April and October. We have project committees that are involved in the solicitation of gifts that we distribute at Christmas time, poinsettias. So we have a kind of a standing project committee that's working on a relatively new project that's still, I think, needs some work in development, still feeling its way along, which is to work with Slate Hill Elementary School. So you'll have opportunities. If you want to get involved in community service, you can be involved in the main committee, which is kind of overseeing things and approving projects and setting up plan and calendar for the year. But you can also be involved in these individual projects. So we hope to provide as many opportunities as possible for as many Rotarians as want to be involved in those projects. We also want projects to bring visibility to the club and community and to Rotary General. That's why we don't just like to write checks. We like to have Rotarians out there doing things. And we want to foster unity and collaboration within the Rotary and the larger community. And to do that, we work to the extent that we can with community partners. So some of our projects we will call a club community service project, where we're raising money and soliciting donations for the food pantry. Certainly for helping the food pantry, we're doing that because we're a partner with the food pantry, but we're running that project. We're the ones that are doing that. In other cases, such as if we're collecting, if we're assembling money bags for the Mentor Foundation, and this year we're actually going to be doing it on their site in August. And that's a case where it's really a Family Mentor Center's project, but we're helping. So that's what we call a club sponsored community service project. You know, it's not our project directly, but as a club, we want to participate and help with that. So we get much more done by working with partners and not just working by ourselves. Now, what's the community? Well, you know, this actually, when we've had our strategic discussions, which if you're in the full committee is something we'll have to participate in and flesh out, is something we struggle with a bit. We know the community always includes the full Dublin and Worthington school districts, but it can include areas beyond that. Certainly not international, but if it's not international, you know, and you have a passion for it, we have in fact done other projects, but certainly other parts of the state, other areas outside of our traditional service area. So if a member or a group of members have a passion for providing service there, we do, however, just like when we work internationally, we try to work with the Rotary clubs in those areas if they're there. When we work outside of our service area, we try to work with the other Rotary clubs that are there too, because we want to grow Rotary, and usually the people in those areas, if they're going to get involved in Rotary in their community. So that's how we operate. So we hope you will consider getting involved in at least one of our projects, perhaps the full committee. Whether it's to take place at club meeting or getting involved in one of these larger projects that's outside the club meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. 25 minutes, so it's about 10 minutes. So, who wants to go next? Come on up, bro. We need you.
Yeah, I will be quick, I promise. So I'm actually going to talk about youth service, what a surprise. So as you know, our club participates in Interact, which we currently have the 2 Interact clubs, one at Worthington Kilbourne and Perry Middle School is our second club, which we just started just a few months ago. We also participate in the RILA program, which is Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, which is a 3-day summer camp for high school students, which of course, due to COVID, we haven't had for a couple of years. And then the other youth program that we participate in is the youth exchange program, where we host the students every year, inbound and outbound students, host them overnight for a weekend. Our committee is been me and 2 or 3 others for a very long time, so we really need bodies. I really need help. So if you have any interest in working with students in any of those 3 areas, I would welcome the opportunity to have you work with me and learn about the programs and how we can benefit these amazing kids, because as you see, they are amazing and they inspire me every day. The other thing I'm just going to touch on very briefly, and Dave Kittredge, you might want to join me, is Dave Kittredge and I are to serve on our board, and Steve has asked us to talk, kind of start vocational service. This is a service of our club that we've not really been very active in, at least recently. I know we were very many years ago, our club was involved in that. And Dave and I have been talking, but of course we need to develop a committee for that. So he and I will be getting together sometime, forming an opportunity for all of us to meet, anyone who's interested in it. So again, if that's something that you think through your vocation, we all serve our communities, but if there's something you want to do on a more regular basis or a more committed time frame, we would welcome the opportunity to have you work with us. So please put it on the sheet of paper so that David and I will reach out to you. So youth and vocational are the 2 things I'm pushing right now. So if you can please let us know if you're interested in helping in either of those areas, we welcome the opportunity.
Membership or Ways and Means, do we have anybody? Ways and Means, come on up.
I'll try to be brief, but in many ways, Ways and Means is right now really trying to reconstitute and re-energize its efforts. All the projects that you hear about involve any type of finances. Most of those funds for this club comes through the efforts of Ways and Means and their subcommittees. So while it may sound like a really boring title, it is an extremely crucial one for this club. And we're needing your not only expertise in finance, but more importantly, your expertise in terms of the creativity of what we can do to improve things in the present and in the future. The committee basically first coordinates with the primary fundraisers of our organization and helps support those. It does not actually operate or conduct those fundraisers. Secondly, as part of that, we in fact evaluate how well they're doing, what can be expected in the future, and we're looking at 2 and 3 years out, not just what actually happens in the next year. Pretty much our budget is based not on what we're doing in the future, but what we've done in the past. So we have to lay the groundwork for the next few years, and that's a very important task. As part of that, we're therefore also always looking for new possibilities, and that's a lot of what this committee has done. The Super Bowling was born out of that effort. The committee has not, though, met for over 2 years, primarily due to COVID. And so we really need your assistance and really need some help to, again, re-energize and restart this committee. The present leadership includes myself and Jim Farmer as board liaisons, and Jerry Katz is the treasurer, and we've got Jim Allen and Harry K. Martin are both signed up to help with some of that leadership. We're still looking for a co-chair, so if you're interested in doing that, please do step forward. Someone that knows the other members and their talents would be very helpful. We will probably meet in the next, for about every other month, every quarter, more often to begin with, kind of reestablish our efforts. So please sign up if you are so inclined. Those people that are on the present fundraisers, that includes one status, the raffle, the Super Bowling, and the annual sponsorship drawing. And many of you have commented that you'd rather not have to have a sponsorship drawing. I would agree with you. I'd rather not have to have that. However, until we find some fundraisers that we can nurture and grow, because a fundraiser doesn't start out being able to raise 10 grand or 15 grand the first day out of the gate. It takes sometimes several years to get to those kind of numbers. So we do need your help in doing that. And if you have concerns about how we're doing fundraising, please volunteer for the group. Jim, do you have any other addition?
No, I just want to reiterate that right now, Jim and I are sort of co-chairing this, and we're happy to do so. But we'd be even happier if someone would step forward and volunteer to chair.
Fantastic. Thank you both. Al, membership, want to say a few words? Fantastic.
I guess a few words.
Yep.
If everybody would take just a second, look around the room. And there are a lot of empty chairs here. And the membership committee is charged with getting new people sitting in these chairs, and it's critical for the future of our club to do so. So, if you'd like to expand the committee larger than me, I would appreciate your help in any fashion. Please join the membership committee, and let's talk about it.
And I'll be putting a plug for the Public Image and Communications Committee, so I am currently the chair of that. We are supposed to handle the newsletter, social media, the website, setting up Zoom is kind of falling into our purview. So if you have technical experience or marketing experience or interest in any of those areas, please talk to me. We'd love to have you on the committee, and I know I'm supposed to get with Adrienne here soon to get her to join our committee. Sorry, we will connect. All right, and then Jim Farmer, club service is kind of it's one of the 8 main committees, but it's really just a bunch of subcommittees. I don't know if you want to say anything about it. I don't know if we need to.
I do not want to.
Excellent. That's a freebie. So we've covered all 8 of our committees. Thank you all very much. Based on what you've heard here today, please put your name on the sheet, put some committees down. Let's get our club back to where it was before COVID and start doing even more great work. All right, and I guess I lost my sheet. So we're gonna wing it. Yeah, we have a raffle, but next week's speaker, I was actually taken aback. We have the First Lady of Ohio coming to speak to us. Fran DeWine, I believe is her name. And she's going to be talking to us about literacy in Ohio and the Governor's Imagination Library. Yeah, I had it written on my sheet, I promise. If you have my sheet, please pay $1 fine. All right, now we're ready for the raffle.
Okay, we have $12 in the weekly and 217 in the for the Ace of Spades.
12 in a weekly.
And so, ladies, I'm going to be going here.
500-879.
Here. GMA.
Oh, okay. There you go.
What was it in the Ace of Spades? 217?
217. Okay, it's your turn. Just come up with it. Better hit it. And then read it out. Mine first.
500-850.
Come on up. Come on up. Pick a card. Try to pick the Ace of Spades. Show everybody what it is.
10 of hearts.
Whoa.
Good. Thanks for playing. All right, folks, I think we're about ready to wrap up. If you would join me in reciting the forward test. I'm just gonna have to remember it. All right, of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. We are adjourned.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. With the embassy. Business or project.